Kevin in Florida. Good morning, Kev. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, remember when I told you about Brian Ragschild, the finance guy for Standard?
Yes.
He was from Hollywood, Florida.
Yep. And he was the finance guy for Standard Hotels.
Yeah.
Again, no coincidence.
He was killed in that helicopter crash in Orange County, in Newport Beach. I don't know how long ago. I guess it was in January.
So he got Clinton.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, we figured that out just by research, and it was not a piece of information on the news.
Right. No. And it's
like
not
that,
really deep research, Kev.
When Broward County came out, we started to look for links at that time there, and that's how we found it.
Yep.
And you see, Broward County's really dirty.
Clearly. I mean, that's way worse than I thought.
Yeah, well, Meyer Lansky didn't retire there to, become the new kid on the block. It was already there.
Right.
Somebody had to raise him up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we've talked about this. I think the scandal, and I think you could trace the A1 brothers to Wasserman Schultz to Fusion GPS to Uranium One to Clinton, all of this stuff.
Yeah,
I think
you see Wasserman's the brother is a prosecutor.
Prosecutor.
In DC.
Yep. Yeah. No coincidences. But I think we're looking at something that is going to make Watergate look like shoplifting a Kit Kat bar.
Yeah. Oh, Curt, and it's Watergate was an intelligence operation run on America to turn us into the mess that would be able to elect the people we've been electing.
Yeah. Well, we have. We've
really,
been
dumbed us down.
In many ways, we've been electing the lesser of two evils for what feels like my lifetime, except for Reagan.
Yeah. And thank God for Trump, because if Hillary had been president, we would have been absolutely trashed.
I can't even play that out. I don't understand how to play out that scenario, I can't, because if you think about the last 24 months, people always say, why are you guys so obsessed with Clinton, blah, blah, blah. It's not that we're obsessed. It's the fact that we are where we are because of her. The things that we're dealing with are her fault. Whether it be Uranium One and Russia's ownership of 20% of our access to our uranium, or this dossier that the Clinton Foundation or the Clinton campaign and the DNC and FBI and DOJ conspired. I mean, these people were in bed together, literally and figuratively, and all of the action that they took and the panic that resulted from Trump winning are all because of the things we said. They all expected her to win. Mm-hmm. And when she didn't, all hell broke loose, because now we're getting to a look under. Well, we turn the lights on and the cockroaches are scattering, but there's nowhere to hide. And that's gross.
Curt, they want to turn us into something we're not. There's a company in California, I think it's in Oakland, and it produces about 500,000 pounds of vegan burgers a year. So they isolate a vegetable plant protein, hem, and when you bite into the burger, it bleeds.
No.
It's a vegan burger.
Yeah, he's telling the truth.
Oh, my God. Okay. Well,
it's bleeding heart liberals, man.
Well, here's the thing. I only truly know one vegan who I like, and that's Robin, who hangs out in
Robin, right?
She's the only normal thinking vegan I've ever met. But
I've seen some raccoon-eyed vegans.
Well,
I'll tell you that.
It's not a joke though. That book, Green Tyranny, I'm reading, talks about the fact that veganism, eating less meat was part of this whole big thing, and it's real. That's a real thing. And
they think by changing their dress, they're actually making Darwinism come to life.
Right? No, exactly right.
I have evolved.
Yep. No, it's. I got to tell you, Kev. I don't know if you've read the book, but a lot of what you and LJ have been talking.
We're going to get it.
Yeah. No, but I'm going to tell you, the first 50 pages are going to make you smile, because a lot of it just puts ink to paper and confirms the things that you guys have been talking about with me for the last couple of years, which is that worldwide deep state. And the fact that the Green Movement, nobody knows that the Green Movement started in Nazi Germany. They were the first real proponents of wind power and understanding.
Oh, and Curt, they love their drugs too.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
it was a big drug problem.
Yep.
And it started in Weimar before the Nazis.
Yep. But the underlying message was controlling the power grid was controlling the people, right? I mean, that is, and again, I don't think anyone would have guessed or gathered that the most influential country in the world when it comes to the global climate change, ice age movement is Sweden. Kurt,
research back. I did an article, did a blog on that. The U.S. ambassador to Canada, flying back from Canada. Now, this is right after World War II, but before that, Kurt, he was stationed in the Ottoman Empire and Russia and Sweden. And he was our first ambassador to die in the line of duty, and he died in a plane crash. And that guy right there is a big link.
Yeah, well, again, I'm anxious to see you two read this book, because I there's like every other page is a discussion that we've had over the last couple of years. It's just fascinating.
Now you'll find out that Canada has been made exceedingly disgusting by the elite power structure from Britain.
Well, it's physically located in a great place, right? I mean, it's access to America through a country that no one really worries about.
Yeah, that was the Bronfmans. Kurt, when I wrote that the Canadians tried prohibition first, but they did away with it right before the end of the war so they could run into our place.
Right. Hey, Kevin, always a pleasure to talk.
God bless you, brother.
You too. God bless you, Kev. BarefootCavalry.com, guys. The book is called Green Tyranny, and it's the author is Rupert Darwall. And guys, I tell you, I get a chance to read a lot, and it's one of the most eye-opening, fascinating books that I've ever read. And like every other book that's done by a conservative author, it's referenced, it's cross-indexed, all of the things you could want for source material you can find out to back up the stories. It is a stunningly fascinating, terrifying book, because it traces the roots back to the beginning of the roots of the Green Movement, which people don't know was the Weimar Republic. Nazi Germany is where that movement started, and it explains why it started. And it's all, once you read it, you're like, oh my God, yeah, that's just common sense, sure. But it also gets you back to a conversation which we've been forced away from, guys, which is acid rain. And it explains, if you remember, when I was a kid, acid rain was going to deforest the planet. Not only was it not real, it never happened. And when you look at the reasoning behind acid rain and what it turned into, you understand how we got to where we are today and why we are where we are today. The movement and is very is hiding a much deeper motive, and again, it makes total sense. You're talking about control and power. The only way to our energy independence separated us from the rest of the world. And the world doesn't like that. Trump pulling out of the Paris Climate Accord was the worst possible nightmare for green people everywhere. Because that was the Paris Climate Accord was an agreement that only we were being held really to the fire for. The rest of the countries were allowed to do and come and go and do as they pleased. And that, but it was a way to potentially control us as a nation. So, anyway, we're going to take a short break.